Hey everyone! So, if you've ever found yourself battling with the XOOPS content management system, trying to create a modern, responsive front end, you know the struggle is real. Well, today we're going to look at a library called XBB, a toolkit that's really designed to completely change how you build XOOPS sites. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into the exact challenge of modernizing XOOPS. Then, we'll introduce XVB, which is kind of your accelerator, and we'll dive deep into its super powerful block system. We're also going to uncover what makes it more than just a block library. And then I'll wrap it all up by showing you how you can get all this power working on your site in literally just a few minutes. Okay, let's set the stage here. The web has changed, right? I mean, users expect these slick, responsive sites that work perfectly on every single device. But trying to deliver that kind of experience on a classic CMS like XOS, well, that comes with its own unique set of challenges. Does this sound at all familiar? You're fighting with old structures, trying to force things to work on a phone, then a tablet, then a desktop, and it just feels like this constant uphill battle. Trust me, you are definitely not alone in this. This slide just captures the divide perfectly. On one side, you've got the rigid, table-based layouts of the past, and on the other, the fluid, mobile-first world we all live in now. So the fundamental challenge is bridging this gap. How do you get from legacy to modern without having to rewrite absolutely everything from the ground up? And that is exactly where our hero, XBB, comes into the picture. You can really think of it as your purpose-built accelerator for launching any XOOPS project straight into the modern era. So what exactly is XBB? Well, at its core, it's a composer library that's just absolutely packed with tools. We're talking over 115 pre-built Bootstrap 5 components, a really smart form rendering system, and utilities to pull in dynamic data, all designed to let you build modern sites with truly minimal effort. And, here's the best part. It's a zero configuration setup. Seriously, you just install it via Composer, and XCB automatically hooks into the XOSA's preload system. It handles everything for you behind the scenes. No config files, no manual setup. It's just ready to go from the moment you install it. Now for the real heart of XBB, the block system. Honestly, the best way to think about this is like having a massive Lego toolkit for building your user interfaces. Just look at that number. Over 115 pre-built, production-ready blocks based on Bootstrap 5. This isn't about building from scratch anymore. It's about assembling professional-looking layouts quickly and really efficiently. And the variety here is just incredible, with over 21 distinct categories of blocks. You get everything from hero sections and feature grids to calls to action, blog post layouts, and multi-column footers. Basically, whatever you need to build, there's probably a block ready and waiting for you. So this must be complicated to use, right? Nope, absolutely not. Adding a complex, pre-styled component to your page takes just a single line of code in your Smarty template. You just include the blocks file and pass in your content as parameters. It's that simple. And that one line of code we just saw, that generates a complete, fully styled, and responsive hero section. It takes your parameters, like the title and the call to action label, and builds the entire HTML structure for you. It's incredibly powerful stuff. But XBB is so much more than just a block library. It's actually a complete toolkit that solves a bunch of other common problems you face when you're trying to modernize a XOOPS site. For example, creating responsive columns. Instead of having to remember and type out all those different Bootstrap classes, you can just use this simple xbcall Smarty function. You define the column widths you want for different screen sizes, and it generates the correct classes for you. Clean and simple. Static blocks are great, but websites need dynamic content, This is where data providers come in. These are simple little classes that can fetch data from your existing XOOPS modules, like Publisher or News, and then format it perfectly to be used in the blocks. You can even create your own. And let's talk about forms for a second. Anyone who's worked with XOOP Theme Form knows that styling them is a total chore. Well, with XBB, a single function call automatically renders your existing forms with beautiful Bootstrap 5 styling. We're talking proper labels, input classes, and validation feedback. The difference is quite literally night and day. So, you've seen how powerful this is. The next logical question is, okay, how hard is it to actually get started? And the answer is it's incredibly easy. Look, this is the entire process right here. You install it with Composer, you start including blocks in your templates, you wrap your forms in the render function, and if you ever need to make changes, you just copy a template file into your theme to override it.
It's a 4-step process to a completely modernized site. Customization is handled through this really powerful 3-tier override system. XBB will look for a template first in your theme, then in a module directory, and only then will it fall back to the library default. Now, this is huge because it means you can customize anything you want without ever touching the core library files. That makes all your future updates totally safe and painless.
So there you have it. We've gone from the core challenge of those old legacy layouts to a complete toolkit with blocks, helpers, and renderers, all ready to modernize your XOOPS site. The power is here and it's easy to use. The only question left is, what will you build first?